Now, during our time together today, I'd like to talk about building trust. I want to talk about how we listen to our clients and how we show that we understand them and how we can empathise with them. Now, there are people out there in the public who don't know or appreciate what we do. And I hear all the time these days that clients want control and that they want to do it themselves. Now, not all of you will have heard of Don Connolly, but I'd suggest that you look him up. Don Connolly is a great coach and mentor in our industry, and he's spoken a number of times at the MDRT main event in the United States on the main platform. And one time I was sitting at dinner with Don Connolly and he said to me, "Matt, when have you ever done anything and been perfect at it the first time you tried it?" Now, I ask all of you, put your hands up if you've ever been perfect at something the first time you tried it. No one? I think it's the same for all of us. Now, your clients, whatever stage of life they're at and whatever age they are, they've never been there before. It could be that they haven't paid out a mortgage before. It could be that they've never been off work sick before, let alone disabled long term. And they certainly have never retired before. The difference is your clients only get one shot at it. It's not like kicking a soccer ball when you're a child or playing table tennis and you can get thousands of attempts to practice it until you get it right. They only get one attempt, and you ought to tell them that. They get one shot at these things. They've got to get it right the first time. Do they really think that they can do that alone? Do they really think that they can work out the most suitable insurance policies, structure the ownership of that insurance so that the right amount of money ends up in the right hands at the right time, tax effectively, when it's most needed? Can they structure and manage their investments in a constantly changing environment when they've never attempted it before? Are they really that talented, or are they just arrogant? You've been through these stages hundreds of times. You've retired hundreds of times. You've seen people sick hundreds of times. You've seen lots of families through these things. And if you're new in the industry, you've heard the stories on main platform today. You've heard stories from your management. You can find some stories out. You've seen it in practice. You've been through this hundreds of times. And I can tell you, your clients don't want to negotiate the rough seas ahead without someone who's weathered that storm before guiding them. I put myself in her shoes. And I thought to myself, if Judy was my mum, what would she want to know? Judy faced an uncertain future. She was dealing with the emotion of having lost a husband and the uncertainty of having lost the breadwinner. So Judy came back in a week later, and to date, our conversations had been logical, practical, and constructive. So Judy sat down next to me at the table, and I opened the conversation by saying, "Judy, I've done thorough analysis since we met last week. And before I get into the detail, I think you should know that based on the legacy that Fred left for you and the children, and the income that you guys are going to need to support your lifestyle and keep the children in private school and to keep the house, you could live to be 102 years old and you won't run out of money." Now, Judy broke down crying uncontrollably for 20 minutes. And I sat there not knowing what to do. I didn't know her very well, so I'm thinking, do I hug her? Do I hold her hand? You know, there. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know her well enough to give her a hug. I'd only just met her. So what was I going to do? I sat there thinking to myself, if she can't get control of herself soon, I'm going to run out of time and I'm not going to get through this document here. But the fact was, she'd already heard everything that she was going to take in that day. She knew what she needed to know. The funny thing is, the one question she did ask me when she got control of herself was, why 102? And she was 52 at the time. And I said, well, that's as far as my software will project. And I said, but I tell you what, when you're 102, let's schedule a meeting now. You can have it with my son because I'm not going to be in the industry then. But I said, you and he can then discuss what you're going to do from there. And we had a bit of a laugh about it.